Beloved chosen one, stop scrolling, stop running, stop pretending this moment is ordinary. You did not arrive here by chance, and you are not listening to these words by accident. Something has been interrupting your routine, tugging at your spirit, refusing to let you stay comfortable. That interruption is not anxiety. It is not coincidence. It is divine intervention. God Himself has stepped into your timeline to deliver a serious warning meant specifically for you. You already feel it. A heaviness mixed with urgency. A knowing you can't quite explain. You have sensed that time has been compressing. That decisions you once postponed now feel dangerous to delay. This message is not here to entertain you. It is here to confront you. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you so you can hear clearly. Do not ignore this moment. Do not brush it aside. Do not assume you will get another chance just like this one. You are different, and you have always known it. From an early age, you carried a sensitivity others did not understand. You felt deeply. You noticed patterns. You questioned systems that everyone else accepted. That difference was not a flaw, it was a mark. But being marked comes with pressure. When God places His hand on someone, resistance increases, delays multiply, distractions become louder. And lately, you have been surrounded by noise designed to numb your discernment. Pay attention. The fatigue you feel is not just physical. The confusion is not just mental. The isolation is not accidental. The enemy does not waste energy on those who are not a threat. The intensity around your life is evidence that you are standing near a threshold, and thresholds demand decisions. You have been warned before, gently at first. A quiet conviction here. A restless night there. A repeated message that followed you across conversations, videos, and thoughts. You tried to rationalize it. You told yourself you were overthinking, but the warnings did not stop, they escalated. Because mercy warns before judgment, love cautions before consequence, and God is far more invested in your obedience than your comfort. Chosen one, there is something God has been asking you to release. A habit, a relationship, a mindset, a compromise you justified because it wasn't that bad. But you know, deep down, you know. Every time you engage in it, your spirit grows heavier. Every time you delay obedience, peace slips further away. This is not condemnation, it is clarity. Conviction is a gift. It means the door is not shut yet. Hear this carefully, delay is not neutral in the spiritual realm. Every postponed act of obedience strengthens resistance. Every ignored warning dulls sensitivity. The danger is not that God stops speaking suddenly. The danger is that you stop hearing. This is why the warning is serious. Not to frighten you into panic, but to awaken you into alignment. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be obedient. There is a difference. God is not demanding flawless performance. He is calling for surrendered direction. The path ahead will require courage. You may have to disappoint people who benefited from your silence. You may have to walk away from environments that fed your flesh but starved your spirit. You may have to choose discipline over desire, but what you lose will never compare to what you are protecting. Do not let pride convince you that you have more time. Do not let fear convince you that obedience will ruin your life. That is the oldest lie. Obedience does not shrink you, it sharpens you. It does not imprison you, it positions you. On the other side of this warning is clarity, strength, and acceleration. But you must respond. This is the moment where heaven draws a line and asks, will you listen now? Not tomorrow. Not after one more season of compromise. Now. The warning itself is proof that God still has plans for you. If He were finished, there would be silence. Instead, there is urgency, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, verse 15. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. That word today matters, not someday, not when it's convenient. Today, right now. This very moment is a crossroads. One path leads to alignment, protection, and purpose. The other leads to spiritual dullness and regret. Ignore this warning, and you risk drifting into a place where conviction fades and consequences speak louder than instruction. But listen, really listen, and everything can change. God does not warn to destroy. He warns to redirect. He warns because he sees what you cannot yet see. He knows the doors opening ahead, and he knows the traps set along the way. This message is a shield if you receive it. Before you move on, seal this moment. If this warning resonates in your spirit, take action now. Like this message so it reaches other chosen ones who are standing at the same crossroads. Share it with someone you know has been delaying obedience. Subscribe to stay connected, because this is not the last message heaven has for you. And as a prophetic act, comment the number 77 below to declare, I hear you, Lord, and I choose to listen. Chosen one, hear this with clarity and calm. Do not rush to interpret pressure as proof that you are wrong. Pressure is not always correction. Sometimes, pressure is confirmation. When you begin to move closer to alignment, resistance does not decrease, it concentrates. What you have been feeling is not failure closing in, it is friction revealing direction. You were taught, subtly or directly, that peace always means approval and difficulty always means error. But that belief collapses the moment you step into purpose. Growth stretches. Calling presses. Transformation applies weight to places that have remained untrained for years. If you misread that weight, you will retreat from the very process designed to strengthen you. Look closely at your recent experiences. The pressure arrived not when you compromised, but when you started saying no. It intensified not when you numbed yourself, but when you tried to be disciplined. It showed up not when you blended in, but when you stood apart. That pattern matters. It reveals that something in the unseen realm reacted to your movement. This is where wisdom is required. Not every closed door is rejection. Not every delay is denial. Not every struggle is a sign you missed God. Some struggles are proof you are finally on the right road. The enemy does not reinforce walls around empty rooms. Resistance is often placed where something valuable is being protected or threatened. You are allowed to feel tired without concluding you are off course. Fatigue does not automatically mean disobedience. Sometimes it means you are learning to carry a new weight of responsibility, authority, or awareness. The muscles of the spirit ache when they are being used in ways they never were before. The danger is not pressure itself. The danger is interpreting pressure without discernment. When pressure is misunderstood, it leads to self-doubt. Self-doubt leads to hesitation. Hesitation leads to reversal. And reversal often places you back in cycles God already freed you from. This is why clarity matters now. Here is a practical instruction for you. Pause before you judge your season. Do not immediately label your discomfort as error. Instead, ask better questions. What changed just before the pressure increased? What boundary did you set? What truth did you accept? What behavior did you begin to confront often? The answer will reveal that pressure followed obedience, not rebellion. Another instruction: separate internal conviction from external pressure. Conviction is specific, quiet, and restorative. It points clearly and invites repentance without crushing hope. Pressure from resistance is loud, vague, and disorienting. It pushes you toward confusion, urgency, and emotional decisions. Learn to tell the difference. One refines you, the other tries to rush you. Do not overcorrect your life every time things get heavy. Overcorrection is fear dressed as wisdom. You do not need to abandon your path because you encountered opposition. You need to stabilize your posture, stand, breathe. Reaffirm what you already know God told you before the noise increased. Pressure also exposes attachments. When weight is applied, whatever is weak begins to shake. That does not mean the entire structure is wrong. It means something needs reinforcement. Instead of quitting, reinforce. Strengthen your habits. Simplify your schedule. Guard your inputs. Rest intentionally, not impulsively. You are not meant to endure pressure alone, but discernment is required even in community. Not everyone understands the cost of calling. Well-meaning voices may urge you to retreat simply because your growth confronts their comfort. Listen carefully, but decide wisely. Confirmation does not always come from the crowd. There is also a timing element you must respect. Pressure often increases right before clarity arrives. The temptation is to escape too early, to numb yourself, to distract yourself, to downgrade your obedience to relieve the weight. Resist that urge. Pressure is temporary, misalignment lingers. Remember this: you are not being crushed. You are being calibrated. God adjusts those He intends to use with precision. Alignment is delicate work. It requires tension. It requires focus. It requires patience. What feels unbearable today may soon feel foundational. You do not need to dramatize your season. You do not need to panic. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. Simply remain honest, anchored, and teachable. Let pressure do its proper work without letting it redefine your identity. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8, we are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. That distinction matters. Pressed, but not crushed. Confused, but not abandoned. The pressure did not come to end you. It came to shape you. If you remain steady, this season will produce endurance instead of exhaustion, clarity instead of confusion, strength instead of fear. So walk carefully, slowly, intentionally. Do not rush to escape the weight. Learn what it is trying to teach you. Pressure is not your enemy. Misinterpretation is, and when you learn to read pressure correctly, it stops controlling you and starts serving you. Chosen one. There is a story Jesus told that was not meant to comfort the careless. It was not designed to soothe procrastination. It was spoken as a warning wrapped in imagery, sharp enough to wake those who assumed they had more time. This story is not about strangers. It is about people who believed they were already prepared. Jesus spoke of 10 virgins waiting for the bridegroom. All 10 were invited. All 10 knew the tradition. All 10 carried lamps. From the outside, they looked the same. No one watching them would have been able to tell who was ready and who was not. This is where the danger begins when appearance replaces preparation. 5 of them were wise. 5 were foolish. The difference was not belief. It was not intention. It was oil. The wise ones carried extra oil. The foolish ones assumed what they had would be enough. They assumed the wait would be short. They assumed the bridegroom would arrive on their schedule, not his own. Time passed. Darkness deepened. Weariness set in. And then suddenly, the cry rang out: the bridegroom was coming. This is the moment everyone claims they are waiting for: the breakthrough, the arrival, the fulfillment. But this moment exposed what had been hidden all along. The foolish virgins realized too late that their lamps were burning out. They had light once. They had passion once. They had enthusiasm at the beginning, but they did not maintain it. They did not invest in what could not be borrowed at the last minute. Oil represents intimacy, discipline, obedience sustained over time, and that kind of preparation cannot be rushed. They begged the wise for oil, but preparation is not transferable. You cannot live off someone else's devotion. You cannot borrow obedience when the moment arrives. You cannot inherit readiness because you stood near it. Each person must carry their own supply, so the foolish virgins left to buy oil. And this is the most painful part of the story. They went to prepare when preparation time had already passed. They moved when the door was already in motion. They responded when urgency had turned into consequence. While they were gone, the bridegroom arrived. The door was shut. When they returned, they knocked, calling out, convinced they still belonged inside. But belonging without readiness is not enough. Familiarity without obedience does not keep the door open. This story is not about losing salvation casually. It is about missing moments through delay. It is about assuming grace will always wait for convenience. It is about confusing invitation with entitlement. The warning is not that God is cruel. The warning is that time is real. Chosen one. This parable is not meant to make you afraid, it is meant to make you sober. You are not being told this because you are far. You are being told this because you are close. Close enough that delay now would be costly. Close enough that assumption becomes dangerous. The foolish virgins were not rebellious. They were unprepared. They did not reject the bridegroom. They underestimated the weight. They did not plan for endurance. And that is where many fall, not in outright sin, but in quiet neglect. Ask yourself honestly, where have you assumed instead of prepared? Where have you relied on yesterday's oil for today's demand? Where have you delayed strengthening what you know matters? This is not accusation. This is invitation before the cry sounds. You are still in the waiting season. The door is not yet shut. The warning is being spoken now so you can respond while response still matters. This is the mercy in the message. Heaven warns before it closes doors. Always. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 13. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. Watch does not mean panic. It means preparedness. It means living as though timing matters. It means not postponing obedience because you assume tomorrow will always look like today. This story confronts one habit directly delayed disguised as confidence. I'll deal with it later. I still have time. I'm basically ready. The foolish virgins likely said the same things until the moment arrived and exposed the truth. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be ready. Readiness is quiet, consistent, often unseen. It does not announce itself. But when the moment comes, it stands while others scramble. Let this story recalibrate you. Strengthen what you have neglected. Return to disciplines you loosened. Refill what has been leaking. Do not wait for pressure to force you. Choose wisdom now. If this message pierced your heart, seal it with a simple declaration. Comment this phrase below. I stay ready. That sentence is not a slogan. It is a decision. It means you choose preparation over presumption, obedience over delay, awareness over comfort, saying it is not magic, but it is alignment. And alignment keeps the door open. Chosen one. There comes a moment when heaven draws a clear boundary, not to threaten you, but to protect what is holy in you. This is that moment. Not dramatic, not loud, but firm. A line in the sand where God says, "This goes no further." You may have felt it recently as an inner resistance to things you once tolerated, a growing discomfort with patterns that no longer fit who you are becoming. That discomfort is not rebellion. It is refinement. God's warnings are not random alarms, they are precise instructions. When He draws a line, it is because continuing forward the same way would cost you more than you realize. Some paths do not look dangerous at first. They feel familiar. They feel manageable. But they slowly pull you away from clarity, integrity, and spiritual authority. So God intervenes not always by removing the temptation, but by exposing it. This section of your journey is about endings. Not dramatic endings that everyone sees, but quiet ones that require courage. Ending a conversation that keeps pulling you backward. Ending a habit that numbs your sensitivity. Ending an agreement you made out of fear rather than faith. These endings are sacred. They make room for what is next. You may be tempted to negotiate with this boundary, to ask God for exceptions, to delay obedience until you feel stronger or more certain. But boundaries lose their power when they are constantly debated. God's instruction here is simple: stop where He says stop. Trust that what He is protecting matters more than what you are giving up. Understand this clearly: heaven's line is not drawn to restrict your joy. It is drawn to preserve your calling. Every calling has limits around it, not because it is weak, but because it is valuable. We place fences around what matters. God does the same with your life. There's also a relational aspect to this line. Some people will not be able to cross into the next season with you, not because they are evil, but because their season with you has ended. This is one of the hardest truths for chosen ones to accept. You tend to be loyal. You tend to carry others longer than you should, but loyalty without discernment becomes disobedience. You are not required to burn bridges. You are required to obey boundaries. Silence can be obedience. Distance can be obedience. Saying no without explanation can be obedience. Not everyone is owed access to your next level of clarity. The enemy often tries to blur God's line by appealing to your compassion. You're being too strict. You're overthinking. You're changing. But growth always looks like change to those who benefited from the old version of you. Do not confuse guilt with conviction. Conviction leads to freedom. Guilt leads to paralysis. This is also the section where courage becomes practical. Courage is not a feeling. It is a choice repeated quietly. Choosing not to revisit what God already told you to leave. Choosing not to entertain thoughts that weaken your resolve. Choosing structure over chaos. Choosing obedience even when no one applauds. Heaven is watching how you handle this boundary, not with anxiety, but with trust. Every time you honor it, strength returns, peace deepens, clarity sharpens. You begin to realize that what you feared losing was never sustaining you anyway. There is grace here, but it is not passive grace. It is empowering grace. Grace that helps you stand, not slide. Grace that teaches you to say no as confidently as you once said yes. This is maturity. This is readiness. If this message is helping you see more clearly, consider responding in a simple, genuine way. Liking and sharing it helps other chosen ones recognize the boundaries God is drawing in their own lives. And subscribing keeps you connected not to a voice, but to a stream of reminders that reinforce discernment and obedience when the world pulls the other way. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16. Stand at the crossroads and look, ask for the ancient paths, ask where the good way is and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. Notice the instruction stand. Look, ask, walk, not rush, not panic, not debate endlessly. Stand. The line is clear if you are willing to be still long enough to see it. Rest is on the other side of obedience. Not ease, but rest, the deep kind that comes from alignment. You are not losing anything essential by honoring God's boundary. You are gaining protection, direction, and peace that cannot be manufactured any other way. Hold the line, chosen one. Heaven drew it for a reason. Chosen one. There is a quiet truth many never learn until it is almost too late. Obedience is time-sensitive. What God asks of you is not only about what you do, but when you do it, a delayed yes can carry consequences that a timely yes never would. This is why this moment matters so deeply. The door is still open, but it will not remain open forever in the same way. You may feel the tension right now, a sense that something is narrowing. Options that once felt wide now feel specific. This is not God trapping you. This is God focusing you. When destiny draws near, life becomes less flexible and more precise. Wandering is replaced with direction, and direction demands decision. Many chosen ones struggle here because you are thoughtful. You want to be sure. You replay possibilities. You weigh outcomes. But there comes a point where discernment turns into hesitation, and hesitation, when God has already spoken, becomes disobedience in slow motion. Not aggressive rebellion, but quiet resistance. The enemy prefers this kind of resistance. It looks harmless. It sounds reasonable. Just wait a little longer. Get one more confirmation. You're not ready yet. But readiness is not a feeling that suddenly appears. Readiness is built by responding while your hands are still shaking. Understand this clearly: God will not force you. He invites, warns, confirms, and waits, but He does not drag. Love always honors choice. That means the responsibility of response rests with you. And responsibility is heavy, but it is also dignifying. God trusts you enough to let your decision matter. This section of your journey is about choosing alignment over comfort. Comfort asks, what feels safest right now? Alignment asks, what is right? Even if it costs me, comfort preserves the present. Alignment protects the future. And you cannot have both when God is calling you forward. You may be tempted to look back at others who seem to delay without consequence. But you are not measured by their timeline. You are held to a different standard because you carry a different assignment. More awareness brings more accountability. More light brings more responsibility. This is not favoritism, it is stewardship. There is also a grief you may feel as you obey. A grief for versions of life that will never exist once you move forward. This grief is real. Do not dismiss it, but do not let it rule you. Every calling costs something. What you are leaving behind may feel familiar, but familiarity is not the same as fruitfulness. God is not asking you to leap blindly. He is asking you to step deliberately, one choice, one act of obedience, one clear boundary honored fully. Momentum follows obedience, not the other way around. You do not wait for strength to obey. Strength comes after obedience. If you ignore this moment, life will not end tomorrow. That is the deception. Things may continue. You may still function. But clarity will fade. Urgency will dull. What feels sharp now will feel negotiable later. And that is how destinies are slowly abandoned, not in crisis, but in comfort. This is why the warning has weight. Not fear-based weight, but eternal weight. God sees outcomes you cannot yet see. He sees the chain reaction of one obedient step. He also sees the erosion caused by delay. And because He loves you, He speaks now. You are closer than you think. The fact that this message still stirs you means sensitivity remains. The oil has not run dry. The door has not closed. This is the moment to respond not emotionally, but decisively. As the ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today, in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, the hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber. Because our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. Nearer, not farther away, nearer. That means the margin for delay is smaller, not larger. Awakening is required not tomorrow, but now. So choose, quietly, firmly, without announcement. Choose alignment, choose obedience, choose to move when God says move. Heaven responds to decisive faith. If you are willing to mark this moment, do so with intention. Comment the number 888 below as a declaration that you step into alignment, new beginnings, and divine order established by God. This number represents resurrection power, fresh authority, and a cycle redeemed, not delayed. Let this be the moment you answered while the door was still open. Chosen one. This stage of your journey is not about being noticed. It is about being forged. What God is doing now happens mostly in silence, away from applause, away from affirmation, away from the comfort of being understood. This is where many misinterpret what is happening, because they expect preparation to feel empowering. Instead, it feels exposing. You are being marked for the final stand. But marking does not begin with a crown. It begins with separation, not dramatic isolation, but internal clarity. You are becoming less entertained by what once distracted you, less impressed by what once impressed you, less reactive to voices that once had power over your emotions. This is not emptiness. This is refinement. There is a reason God does this quietly. If the process were visible, pride would rush in, comparison would distort it, fear would contaminate it. So God works beneath the surface, strengthening roots before He ever lifts branches into view. You are not being hidden because you are unready. You are being hidden because what is coming must be protected until it can stand. This is also where spiritual warfare becomes more subtle, not louder but more strategic. The attacks are less obvious. Doubt whispers instead of shouts. Fatigue replaces panic. Discouragement dresses itself as realism. You may catch yourself thinking, maybe this is all there is, or perhaps I misunderstood my calling. These thoughts are not truth. They are pressure points. You must understand confrontation does not always look like conflict with others. Often it looks like confrontation with yourself, with old reflexes, old fears, old survival patterns that once kept you safe but now limit your obedience. God is not punishing you for having them. He is inviting you to release them. You are learning how to stand without needing constant reassurance, how to move without external validation, how to obey without immediate results. This is essential, because where you are going, applause will be inconsistent and misunderstanding will be frequent. Only those anchored internally remain steady externally. There is also a sharpening happening. You may notice your tolerance for dishonesty, especially your own, has dropped. You can no longer ignore what is misaligned without feeling internal friction. This is not condemnation. This is integrity forming. God is teaching you to live whole, not divided. Do not romanticize the battles ahead, but do not fear them either. You are not being prepared for defeat. You are being prepared for endurance. Endurance does not look heroic in the moment. It looks ordinary, disciplined, repetitive, showing up again, saying no again, choosing truth again. That is how authority is built. You may feel less emotional right now, less on fire. That does not mean the fire is gone. It means it is being contained. Wildfires destroy indiscriminately. Controlled fire refines and strengthens. God is teaching you how to burn steadily without burning out. This is also the phase where God redefines strength for you. Strength is no longer forcing outcomes. It is restraint. Strength is not proving your point. It is guarding your spirit. Strength is not reacting quickly. It is responding wisely. These lessons feel slow, but they are permanent. You are being equipped to stand when others fall away, not because you are better, but because you are anchored. Anchors are heavy. They go deep. They are unseen most of the time. But when storms come, everything depends on them. Do not measure this season by visible progress. Measure it by internal stability. Are you less shaken by chaos? More discerning with words? Quicker to obey? Slower to assume? These are signs of readiness that cannot be faked. As the pressure increases, remember this: you are not standing alone. Heaven stands with those who stand in truth. The strength you will need tomorrow is being built quietly today. Nothing is wasted. No resistance is accidental. No refining is excessive. The final stand is not one dramatic moment. It is a life posture, a daily choice to remain aligned when compromise would be easier, to remain faithful when silence would be safer, to remain obedient when no one is watching. As the voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stillness does not mean passivity. It means steadiness. It means refusing to be moved out of position by fear, impatience, or pressure. God fights for those who hold their ground in obedience. You are being prepared for moments that will require calm when others panic, clarity when others confuse, courage when others retreat. This preparation is not glamorous, but it is holy. And when the time comes, you will realize that nothing essential was missing because God Himself supplied it. Remain steady, chosen one. What is forming in you now will soon have to carry weight. Chosen one, this is the moment where everything you have heard settles into resolve. Not excitement, not adrenaline. Resolve. The kind that remains when emotion fades and only truth is left standing. You are no longer being warned, you are being commissioned. Quietly, firmly, with clarity that does not need to shout. You have walked through the weight of warning, the reality of pressure, the danger of delay, the boundary heaven drew, the urgency of response, and the forging of endurance. Now comes the final understanding: you were never meant to merely survive this journey. You were meant to emerge trustworthy. Trustworthy with insight, trustworthy with authority, and trustworthy with timing. God does not release influence quickly. He releases it carefully. And care requires proof, not proof of talent, but proof of faithfulness. You are being shaped into someone who can carry truth without misusing it, strength without becoming hardened, and clarity without becoming proud. This is where many chosen ones misunderstand the finish line. They assume the end is visibility, impact, recognition. But heaven's definition of arrival is different. Arrival is when your inner life and outer obedience finally agree. When what you know, what you choose, and what you do align without friction. You are closer to that alignment than you realize. Look back not with regret, but with accuracy. Notice how much no longer tempts you. Notice how much chaos no longer controls you. Notice how quickly discernment now rises where confusion once lived. These are not small changes, these are signs of maturity. And maturity is what heaven entrusts. There will still be battles ahead. This is not the end of resistance. but it is the end of confusion about who you are and what is required of you. You no longer need to ask if obedience matters. You know it does. You no longer need to wonder if delay is harmless. You know it isn't, and that knowing changes how you move. From this point forward, your strength will be quiet. Your obedience will be consistent. Your discernment will be sharp but restrained. You will not feel the need to convince everyone. You will not waste energy explaining what God has already settled in you. This restraint is not weakness. It is authority under control. And here is the beauty of it: you will begin to help others without trying. Your presence will steady people. Your words will carry weight without force. Your choices will challenge compromise simply by existing. This is what happens when someone has been truly forged rather than merely inspired. Heaven trusts people like this. If you ever doubt whether this journey was worth it, remember what you were protected from. Remember the doors that closed because they would have led to erosion. Remember the delays that felt painful but prevented disaster. God's faithfulness is often clearest in hindsight. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are aligned. Now, as you continue forward, remain teachable, remain watchful, remain grounded. The higher you go, the more humility matters. The more influence you carry, the more silence becomes wisdom. Guard these lessons. They will serve you long after this moment passes. If this message has walked with you, strengthened you, or clarified something you have been carrying alone, receiving it is not passive. Supporting its reach is a quiet act of stewardship. A simple like or share helps this word find others standing at their own crossroads. And subscribing is not about a channel, it is about staying connected to reminders that reinforce obedience when distraction grows loud again. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Notice the promise is tied to timing and endurance. At the proper time, not rushed, not delayed, proper. And you are learning to respect proper time. Do not give up now, not because quitting is tempting, but because consistency is powerful. What you continue to do quietly will soon speak loudly on your behalf. Heaven has already marked you as one who finishes with integrity. Stand firm, walk steadily, remain aligned. You are ready. You have reached the quiet edge of this message, not as someone who was pushed, but as someone who was invited. Nothing here demands a reaction. Nothing here forces a declaration. What matters most has already happened internally. Clarity has settled, and awareness has been restored. You are free to sit with what you've heard, free to let it unfold over time, free to carry it into your next decision without announcing it to anyone. Truth does not rush, and neither do those who truly receive it. If these words accompanied you for a stretch of your journey, you'll know what to keep and what to release. If they strengthened you, let them do so quietly. If they challenged you, allow that challenge to mature into wisdom rather than urgency. And if you feel moved genuinely, not out of pressure, you may like or share this message so it finds others who are listening for the same kind of clarity. Not because you were told to, but because it felt right. There is no dramatic ending here, just continuation. You walking forward a little steadier than before, a little more aware, a little more aligned. The rest unfolds in real life,